Hello everyone. If you haven't met me before, I'm Jonah. I'm the JV AmeriCorps member, also the food access member at the food bank. Um, if you're watching this, you weren't able to attend on October 27th, that RA training. That's okay. Hopefully this video can give you a good idea of what that session was like and help you moving forward in RA training. This video is done a couple days after the fact. And the reason I did it this way was to hopefully provide like an easier viewing experience technologically as opposed to having people talking to a microphone. It sounded like a big headache. So hopefully this will also be a good way to share this information. So I'm going to share. Okay, and I'll start the slideshow of what we used that day on Friday the 27th. So this is kind of the introduction that we followed, but our first stop was introducing Daisy from Missoula Works. So Daisy was the personal development coordinator. Missoula Works is in the basement of Atonement Lutheran Church. They do a lot of work with folks returning from incarceration. So they have two different crews that people returning from incarceration can hop on and get paid as a part of that program before they seek alternative employment elsewhere. Because oftentimes it's quite difficult for employers to hire felons if that felony is in their record. So Missoula Works is a form of employment service that tries to help connect people that have been recently incarcerated with a system that helps them get references and people that vouch for their successes. And Missoula Works does a really good job in our community helping people get back to work if they have a felony on their record. So the two programs that they have are the Get It Done crew. The Get It Done crew is kind of like landscaping, lawn care, construction cleanups. It's hard labor. And there are 7 people currently doing it and the rate is $15 an hour. But if you have a driver's license, you can get up to $16.50 an hour. And these aren't permanent positions. They're meant so that people can do them for a while, for 6 months, year, so often, and then move to their next thing. But there was also a need in Missoula Works for people that weren't able to do hard labor. So they started another program called the sewing program. So what they do is that they have some master sewers and some beginning sewers, and people train and learn, and they get paid at a similar rate to the Get It Done crew. Also for people that have a criminal record on their record. When people come into Missoula Works, they do a short intake to figure out what barriers they have to getting employed. Sometimes it's houselessness, sometimes it's incarceration, sometimes it's avoidant work history. Sometimes they just need resume help, and Missoula Works can help with that too. They can join a Missoula Works program, but they can also they may not be searching for the kinds of things that Missoula Works is offering, and that's okay too. This program, there are daily check-ins, and there's a lot of support offered by Missoula Works to try to help people stay employed with Missoula Works, because if they can meet their goals with Missoula Works, then they can meet their goals in their next place. They're currently working to expand their reach with businesses and employers to make that process from Missoula Works to the next place of employment even smoother. And Missoula Works hires almost anybody, regardless of offenses. The barriers that are preventing people from getting jobs elsewhere are lessened by Missoula Works. So as you're an RA, you're at the front desk, and if someone says, I have a record, I can't get a job, or I have mental health struggles, I'm not able to get a job, or I'm really struggling to just find any job at all, Missoula Works would be a great place to send them to, because even if they're just having some job, an unlucky job search at the moment, Missoula Works can do a lot to connect them with the job without having to go through a program too, with resume support, interview help, that kind of thing. So think about that as you're talking with folks and as you're thinking about how we can best help them. Missoula Works is a great option, because we know that when people have a job and more financial freedom, they're more able to afford good foods and solve problems of food insecurity. So then Tate and I talked a little bit about SNAP and LIHEAP. Tate is doing a SNAP training for RAs on November 9th from 12 to 1:30. There's going to be a lunch served. He's doing this training because he wants to see somebody that understands the SNAP process in detail for every hour that the food bank is open. And that's not currently the case. So if you're an RA that wants to learn more about SNAP or become SNAP trained, we're looking to help cover those gaps in the shifts, but you could also just learn and be a sub for another RA if there is an RA that's doing SNAP currently in your time slot. Tate also talked about moving away from the simplified SNAP applications. He has said that the result of those applications is that we're not getting fully completed ones that are turned into the food bank, which means that we can't submit a SNAP application on their behalf. So that's really difficult for us. So we're only giving out full SNAP applications to people leaving the food bank. If people are going to talk with an RA or a SNAP assistant one-on-one with their SNAP application, the simplified SNAP application is still a good way to get that process going. So if someone's like, I just want a SNAP application and shop, give them the full one, let them go on their way. If someone's like, I need help with my SNAP application, but I haven't started yet, giving them a simplified application, having them talk to someone one-on-one is a great first step. And if there are no SNAP assistants at the time when you're an RA or at the front desk, just give them a full application. The senior SNAP applications are a useful tool, but they have to fit very specific criteria. So just make sure if those are given out that the people that we give them to fit that criteria. Because it has to be, everyone in the household has to be 6 years or older, and none of them can have any earned income. And I think there's one more criteria, but you could look at that. It's in the resource cabinet. Tate has also said that customers are expressing a lot of frustrations with the OPA, that's the Office of Public Assistance. He said that they're working hard to figure out what's going on, and he's trying to get more information. But we're asking customers to be patient because they are trying their best, and we're working through it just the same as them. It's a difficult situation when people are on hold for hours and hours, but we're really trying to make it work. So just if someone asks how to talk to someone at the OPA, you can call and be on hold for a while, or you could try to go in when they open at 7 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. The online process for a SNAP application is usually faster, so we're encouraging people to do that. Let's see, let me look at my notes here. If somebody has questions about their case and there's not a SNAP certified person down at the RA desk at the moment, encourage them to go to the website apply.mt.gov. That's the Office of Public Assistance official website where people can check the eligibility of their application. But if it's been over a month since they applied and they haven't heard anything, they probably will have to apply again because there's a 30-day time limit on the beginning of the application process to when the OPA will close your account because it hasn't made any progress. Last month, we helped people submit 41 applications, which is really, really good. I think that's one of the highest months. One of the highest months this year, so that's really great. I talked a little bit about LIHEAP. LIHEAP is the Low Income Energy Assistance Program, where people can get money to contribute to heating their home in the winter. So for all the bills that they incur from October to April, they can get a sum of money that is a supplement to their heating expense. So the benefit can range from $250 to $3,000, depending on income, household size, and home. There's no income verification if they're also on SNAP. So if someone's on SNAP, they qualify for quite a few other programs, and this is one of them that they 95% also apply for. And so that's really easy if someone's already on SNAP. We really want to make sure they're also taking advantage of this. If someone's not on SNAP and doesn't typically need assistance, but has an emergency, I would refer them to Energy Share Montana. That's for quick changes in situations where people realize they don't have enough to pay their heating bill or they're threatening to be cut off of their heating. Energy Share Montana can help finance that heating bill at the moment and then figure out ways of repayment later on when the heating expense isn't so high when it gets warmer out. People can get cash payments even if the heat's included in their rent. That's really great. So if people say, oh, I don't need to worry about LIHEAP, it's already included in my rent, but they're on SNAP or income is lower, they can get a cash payment. So sometimes people don't really know about that. You'll see on the left, there are two bars, LIHEAP and weatherization. LIHEAP is helps with the heating bill. The weatherization is more like, I have a broken window in my trailer home and I don't have enough money to fix it. I've also heard if people have a really drafty home, but they have a respiratory illness, they can get weatherization benefits. If a furnace breaks, the weatherization office at the Human Resource Council may be able to send a contractor out to help you fix that thing that's broken, that's causing you a lot of pain at the moment. I don't know fully all about that program because at the Human Resource Council, they talk to us primarily about LIHEAP and a little bit less about weatherization. But if people have questions, they can call the Human Resource Council themselves. That resource is in the cabinet also. And address for that is 1801 South Higgins. It's also what bus is that? I'm not sure. I think it's the 7, but you should look at a bus map to make sure. Gas is not included. If someone pays gas and is living in their vehicle, that is not counted as a heating expense. They cannot get partial reimbursement for that. If someone is dealing with a heating crisis, you should call the Montana Heating Crisis Line, which is on the community resource guide in the box at the bottom left. Okay. I know LIHEAP is a little less clear than SNAP, but but if you have questions, you should ask me and we can try to figure it out together. Quite a few questions came up about LIHEAP during the training, and I don't have all the answers, but I'm learning as well as you all. We're all learning together. So we're really going to try and make sure that people know about these things, but obviously not all of us can know everything about these programs all the time. I wish I did. That would be helpful. But let me know if you have questions. We can try to figure out answers together. Paula then talked a little bit about data intake forms. These are just kind of reminders that I think have been put on the hot sheet a couple times, but Paula really wanted to reiterate in person of the process, because training volunteers and training each other, volunteers training volunteers, is such a great resource, but sometimes it doesn't fully complete the picture of the communication that needs to happen between the front desk, between the greeter, between the RAs, and then the data intake upstairs. So she really wanted to reinstate that whenever we're talking to a customer, at the very end, we want to remind them to follow quantity signs. I do this when I'm an RA. I do Wednesdays. I say, I refer them to the resources. Do you need anything else today? And then I say, I'm going to do my little spiel, just kind of lighten the mood. I go to grab a card and I say, this is your non-perishable card. This is the quantity we're asking you to take for your household size, for soups, for cans, for things like that. Perishables are on the shelves. Thanks for following the cards. It helps us make the food go further. So it's a light way. You're thanking them, and they get that reminder that, oh, I'm here, I'm getting food. I should try to follow the quantity signs as best I can. Quantity signs and the quantity card as well. There are a couple questions about grab and go and Staples boxes, and I don't think even staff really recognized that. There was a misunderstanding there. So the grab and go, if someone checks, I would like grab and go groceries up here, and verbally says, I want a grab and go box when they come to the door, they do not have to talk to a resource assistant if they don't want to. They tell people they want the grab and go. Sometimes a quick conversation will happen, like, would you like any resources today? They may say no, they may say yes. And then, oh no, my voice quality is poor. And then hopefully there's enough people to where maybe a greeter or an RA can walk them to the boxing area so they can get a box of perishable goods and a bag of non-perishable goods. A Staples box is different. So if people have already shopped once this week, a Staples box is different because they are only allowed to take the bag of non-perishable goods. And if they want maybe one item extra, that's okay. Sometimes people are like, I need food really bad. They're like, okay, here, we can get you a box of Staples, just dry goods, rice, pasta, cans, that kind of thing. And then they say, but I want one more thing of milk. It's okay to get the one more thing of milk, but we don't want to give people multiple shops in the same week, like a full shop and then a grab and go. That's not our store model currently as it is. And we'll talk a little bit about the Staples only box in just a second. For large households, remember to give 2 cards. So if a household of 11 comes in, that happens sometimes, we give them a card for 6 and a card for 5, and then they shop combined what's on both lists. If someone's shopping for another family, they should write that family's name down as best as they know that information. That would be really helpful. And the communication between the front desk data intake and the greeter and the RA is really crucial for making sure there's no miscommunications about who's actually shopping and how many people they're shopping for. Okay. What else? When you check the Staples only box, if your front desk data intake, make sure to check it very large. That's really key, is you check it very large and you communicate with the RA that takes that form that this is a person that's already come in once this week. They are only allowed to have a Staples box. So we're really making sure that everybody at the front desk knows the situation with that person. If it's a miscommunication, if they swear they've never been here before, if we're looking, we can't find it on Salesforce, but they swear that they haven't been here for a second time this week, this is their first time, let them shop as if it's their first time, and then put like maybe a sticky note on the on their intake form so that the data intake upstairs know the situation with that customer. Because right now there's some miscommunication that's happening upstairs with the data intake and downstairs with the front desk. We're also trying to remind people that they can always come back to shop the next Monday. So no matter what day of the week last week they came, they can always come back the next Monday to shop. And the most important part of the intake form, by far, is the name and ages section on the back. And I don't have a picture of the back, but you can imagine it. It says household Doe Jane 23. Doe Jane 23. And then maybe Jane Doe has a child named John Doe, age 4. That's by far the most important part of the form, because that's how we get our funding. So that back portion always has to be fully legible and understandable so that the people upstairs know. And if it's not clear, if the handwriting's not clear, it's really important to make sure that we have that information, because other things like income, contributing factors are just nice for us to have so we know the community that we're supporting, but it's not essential. Even ethnicity is really important to know the numbers, but it's not truly essential. The essential bit is the part on the back with the names and the ages of everyone in the household. So if someone is like, I don't want to fill out this form, the information is not shared with anyone ever outside this organization. But if they really refuse, you can tell them that all they have to do is provide their first name, last name, age, and the form on the back with the their household. Yes. Also, alerts are an important thing that we're trying to make work. Account alerts are important for folks that maybe have special needs, or maybe there have been repeated miscommunications. For example, I changed the name of this person. Now they're a Jane Doe. Imagine they've always been a Jane Doe on 123 Johnson Lane, but there are 4 Jane Does in the database. So it's hard to know which Jane Doe is the right one. And so if a Jane Doe comes in once this week and another one comes in on Thursday, then it's going to show up that Jane Doe has shopped multiple times in the week if the communication between the front desk and data entry is not working. Like if there's 2 Jane Does with the same age, people could put in that it was this Jane, the wrong Jane Doe by accident. And so we're really trying to get the front desk data entry people to see alerts. Please require, and so in this case, it's please require ID. So there's multiple Jane Does. So this Jane Doe requests that when she comes to the food bank, people look at her ID to know that this is the right Jane Doe. So you can see that on August 22nd, please require ID when this family shops. Thank you, Paula. There are 4 Jane Does in the database. Please confirm you are using the correct account. Thank you, Paula. There are other alerts related to people in the building, various reasons, miscommunications of people shopping more than once, that think they haven't shopped more than once. Just, if you see this, really read the alert, really try to communicate with the RAs that are talking to that person. That's really important. So that's as far as we got in the training. Hopefully this video wasn't too long and painful. Thanks for sitting through it. I'm gonna try to schedule the next RA community resource training pretty soon. Probably, I don't know, probably after the holidays, but I'll try to make it a time, hopefully not so early, but also a time where people can come and the RAs are also able to do their shift at that time. I thought the 8 to 9:30 was okay, but I think that we can find a time that works even better. So we'll work on that for the future. Thanks for everyone that went there. It was a fantastic event. I think people learned a lot. We're asking lots of great questions. Helps me so much to know that people are always wanting to do better and do their volunteer positions better. And it really just proves that we have the best volunteers. So thank you so much. Hope you have a great day and thanks for watching this video.